Edo State Government under the leadership of Governor Monday Okpebholo has explained and given wider clarifications to the new anti-kidnapping laws in the state, with specifications that friend or family member of suspected kidnapper or any person suspected to have made an attempt to kidnap, discovering such friend or family member to have hidden or provide a temporary stay or shelter to the criminal suspect, with complete disregard to the level of innocency such a friend or family member may be found to be in connection with the crime. The new laws stipulate 14 years imprisonment with no option of fine for such shelter provider or providers. The Edo State Government published the clarification a day after the government demolished a house of an elder sister of suspected kidnap gang member along College Road at Aduwawa area in Benin City simply because the suspect was living in the house, according to the news reporters broadcasted by Okpella Television, with additional information that the elder sister of the suspect is not living in Nigeria. She has been in abroad where she has been working and providing financial support to her younger brother who got himself into the crime of kidnapping business for a reward of 350,000 nairas. The Edo State Government, while giving the clarification through the Office of the Press Secretary to the Governor in a news feature in which the Chief Press Secretary, Fred Ichua, titled, "A Step-by-Step Breakdown of New Kidnapping Prohibition Law in Edo State," said the new laws were with stringent principles to deter people from going into kidnapping and providing any form of aid to suspected kidnappers with a view to guarantee public safety and restore confidence in the law enforcement and judicial system in the state. In his words, the Governor Press Secretary said, "In Edo State, Governor Monday Okpebholo and members of the State House of Assembly are united in taking a firm stand against the escalating threat of kidnapping. The Edo State House of Assembly has passed the Kidnapping Prohibition Amendment Law 2025. This amended legislation marks a bold legislative milestone aimed at tightening the noose on kidnappers, their accomplices, and enablers. It reflects a sharpened resolve by the government to enhance public safety and restore confidence in law enforcement and judicial systems within the state. Under this amended law, the penalties for kidnapping have been significantly strengthened. In what is considered one of the most stringent anti-kidnapping frameworks in the country, the law prescribes the death penalty for anyone who is directly involved in the act of kidnapping where a life is lost. For cases where victims survive the ordeal, a convicted kidnapper now faces life imprisonment, a stern departure from lighter sentences in previous enactments. Furthermore, the law introduces a minimum sentence of 21 years for anyone who aids, abets, conspires, or attempts to commit the offense of kidnapping, reflecting the government's intention to criminalize not just the act itself but the entire chain of support behind it. Another groundbreaking aspect of the amendment is the provision targeting those who provide shelter, hideouts, or logistical support to kidnappers. Such individuals, regardless of whether they directly participated in the crime, are now liable to a minimum of 14 years imprisonment upon conviction. This sweeping clause is designed to dismantle the ecosystem that enables the planning and execution of abductions, closing loopholes that perpetrators have long exploited. Moreover, the law broadens the scope of what constitutes kidnapping. It now includes compelling another person through threats or deceit into confinement, regardless of the duration or nature of the detention. This redefinition seeks to capture a wider array of tactics employed by criminals, especially those that do not involve traditional hostage-taking scenarios but still infringe on the liberty of individuals. Notably, the amendment also criminalizes the act of negotiating ransom. Any individual who receives, offers, or facilitates the exchange of ransom payments, whether a relative of the victim or otherwise, is now at risk of prosecution. The law aims to break the cycle of financial incentives that have fueled the persistence of the crime, making it less lucrative for perpetrators. In the same vein, the possession of property, whether movable or immovable, acquired through ransom proceeds is now a criminal offense, subject to forfeiture and other legal consequences. The Kidnapping Prohibition Amendment Law 2025 also includes clauses that ensure the protection of witnesses and victims during prosecution. It mandates confidentiality for witnesses and safeguards them from potential reprisals. This is an important provision given the fear and reluctance often associated with testifying against dangerous criminals, and it signals a move towards a more victim-sensitive justice system. This new law comes in response to the growing calls from civil society, security experts, and the general public for tougher legislations to curb the surge in abductions, which has not only threatened lives but has also hampered economic activities and shaken communal peace. The Edo State Government's decision to adopt such comprehensive and tough measures sends a clear message that it will no longer tolerate acts of criminality that violate the sanctity of human freedom. As the state implements the provisions of this law, emphasis will be placed on training law enforcement officers, sensitizing the judiciary, and educating the public on the implications of the amendments. This multi-pronged approach is necessary to ensure the law's effectiveness and to build a safer Edo state where citizens can live without fear, the Governor Press Secretary stated.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.